Today's passage comes from Luke chapter 21, and I'm going to start reading in verse 25. The Bible says, and this is Jesus speaking, "And there will be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars, and on the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them from fear, and the expectation of those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven will be shaken." In Christian circles, I sometimes hear people saying that we shouldn't be studying the subject of prophecy or talking about it publicly because they say it basically amounts to fear-mongering. They say, why would we go and upset people with all this doom and gloom end of the world stuff? And to be fair, sometimes the so-called prophecy teachers that make the rounds these days have really embarrassed the Christian community with half-baked, sensationalistic presentations full of ungrounded speculation. So, I can understand why people get a little nervous when the subject of prophecy comes up. I mean, nobody wants to end up drinking Kool-Aid in Jonestown or burning in Waco. But the fact that some people play loose with the Bible doesn't invalidate the fact that God put an awful lot of prophecy between the covers of this book. In fact, a huge percentage of the Bible is prophecy. And when you study it in context and read the whole book and maintain a balanced approach, prophecy makes really good sense. There are keys that allow you to study it, understand it, and stay balanced about it. And when you use those keys, you're going to discover that it brings a surprising level of hope and reassurance to your life. So, the end result isn't really fear. The end result when you study prophecy properly is hope. You see, the Bible doesn't end with a nuclear explosion. It doesn't end with a famine, and it doesn't end with a war. It ends on a note of hope, and it actually takes away the need for fear. So, let's think again about the accusation that people who teach prophecy are fear-mongering. The idea behind it is that Christians should keep quiet about Bible prophecy because we're just going to upset people unnecessarily. But that supposes that people are actually living quiet, peaceable, worry-free lives before the subject of prophecy comes up. And that's just not true. Take a look at the headlines on any given day, and you'll see that people are worried about plenty. A friend of mine pulled out his iPhone the other day and said, "Sean, look at the top 3 headlines today." And I looked at it, and it blew my mind. Those headlines were things like 5 ways the world could end. And it was a science story of all things. Another headline, $1 trillion trouble, and it was a gloomy look at the world's slide into a hopeless, deep recession. And then there was this tragic story about a billionaire committing suicide. Then there's another story about trouble brewing in the Middle East. And it all underlines something that I think Christians ought to take notice of. We're not creating a sense of fear in the public. We're actually answering their fears. You see, the fear already exists. People are worried. They can't see where the world is headed, and some of them haven't got a shred of hope. Add to that the growing sense of despondency in this world, the sense that the world isn't headed anywhere and that life has no meaning, and you compound these people's problems 1,000,000-fold. The Bible has it exactly right. Men's hearts are failing them for fear. And when you offer hope, which was always the intention of prophecy in the first place, when you offer hope, you're going to help an awful lot of people find a better way to live.